Here is the mysterious paragraph. Oh my God, what's it going to be? Is the writer going to take Camp A side, or is the writer going to choose Camp B? What's it gonna be? Drum roll, please. Hello, IELTS writers. Welcome to IELTS Juice. Let's start assessing a beautiful essay today. The prompt says, some people believe that it is best to accept a bad situation, such as an unsatisfactory job or shortage of money. So two elements, unsatisfactory job and also shortage of money. Others argue that it is better to try and improve such situations. Okay, so I have two camps. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. From the IELTS's perspective, this rubric has three elements. One is Camp A, people who promote silent suffering. So just suffer and be silent. And others who say, no, we need to work hard to improve the status quo or the current situation. And the third one is the writer's own opinion. So two camps and the writer's opinion, three main elements. Also, if you want a high score for task response, make sure that these elements are met. Some people believe that it is best to accept a bad situation such as an unsatisfactory job or shortage of money. These two are going to play an important role if you are looking for a score like 8 or 9. So that's very important. IELTS, I would call them Easter eggs, but they're obvious. Many candidates, sadly, don't pay attention to it. So if you want to get a higher score, remember that this is an important element in the topic, and you need to read and fully digest it, understand it, and then reflect it on your essays. Reflect as clearly as possible, all right? Let's move on. It has always been argued that acceptance of everybody's current situation can benefit them, even though they are unsatisfied with their lives. While other experts, okay, believe that experts, okay, I didn't know these guys were experts, but okay, I'll take it. Everybody is an expert these days. So while other experts believe that people should try as much as possible to achieve their satisfactory position. Okay, I am not a huge fan of one-sentence paragraphs. It has both elements. The introduction introduces us to both camps. So one group of people and the other group of people who are experts. Two camps. Now let's see. I don't see the, oh, wow, one thing. I don't see the writer's opinion here. It's missing. Is it a good thing or bad thing? We don't decide yet. We need to read the conclusion. So I as a reader am going into the paragraphs not knowing what the writer's opinion is. That's not a very good practice to keep me as a reader wondering what you are going to say in the following paragraphs. That's not a very good practice. But if you can just wrap it up, if you can find a way to give me the idea down in the conclusion, then yeah, that would solve my concern. Let's move on. On the one hand, so we're going to talk about one camp. Changing a job situation and earning money is not as easy as books and films mention, as it needs a lot of demands and enough incentives. Or I don't know where this comes from, books and films. I'm now a little confused, but I would like to read the rest of the paragraph and see how it goes. The second thing that caught my eye was as, as, as. This is a grammatical point all by itself. This is another grammar. So I see two different instances to use as. It's a bit excessive to use as 3 times. I need to change the sentence, of course, but I would use another complex making structure or connector here. Most people habitually follow their daily lives and do not have a strong incentive to boost the quality of their lives, as they think they are too tired both physically and mentally to change their situations. Very long sentence. That's correct. That's correct. Development. Another use of as. This essay loves as for some weird reason. Besides, researchers have confirmed, okay, that numerous people find it difficult to leave their unpleasant jobs in order to find a better career. So basically, this sentence tells us that many people are content with the unsatisfactory jobs they have, mainly because of limited financial opportunities. That's correct. Also, I see the mention of money here and there. Not directly. I wish we could talk about money more, but so far it's good. Furthermore, some people prefer to stay in their comfort zones for several reasons, including lack of self-esteem, a high sense of insecurity, and also a lack of enough knowledge. 3 elements are presented to us. Just we have a list of elements. We don't have enough development for each one of them. The list actually is going to give us development for the previous sentence. So it's about people's comfort zone. And people do not like to leave their comfort zones because of a lack of self-esteem, a sense of insecurity, and a lack of enough knowledge. I wish we had more information here, just a little bit more. Therefore, because of all these reasons, some people think adapting to an unsatisfying job is more acceptable than trying to change it. All right, cool. Now, this is a concluding sentence. Usually, we use concluding sentences for long paragraphs. This is a long, large, quite beefy paragraph. So a concluding sentence would make sense, although it's optional, guys. We don't have to write a concluding sentence for IELTS. Our paragraphs are usually around 70 to 100 words. So, I mean, that's not a big paragraph. We can use concluding sentences for much larger paragraphs. So it's not bad, but it's not necessary either. And I wish the development inside was more with the main ideas presented here. All of them were related to the topic. I really liked them all. There was mention of unsatisfactory jobs and money, but it's not 100%. Let's move on to the next camp. On the other hand, a vast number of psychologists and economists believe that everybody in society should work hard and struggle with shortages to achieve the best things. Okay, I'm not a fan of the word thing, like stuff. Best things, maybe items, or their goals, or their, I don't know, items in their bucket list. But no, if you don't want to say bucket list, that sounds a little bit gloomy, a little sad. So you can say like things they desire, or again the highest quality of life. or higher lifestyle. Anyway, all of the things that I mentioned were better than the word thing. You know, best things. Not a good word. They argue living with satisfaction is primarily a right, or is a primary right. Okay, there's no confusion. It's just we cannot use ly here, or the word order is not accurate. For an individual, and one of the vital responsibilities, I need a comma here, and because the subject changes. One of the vital responsibilities of any government, and government is spelled correctly, is to create a safe atmosphere that each person has enough incentive to improve their budgets. Fair. Beautiful. You saw that I hesitated when I wanted to read, and I had to just go back and read it again. So the sentences are not written in a natural sounding way, but they're okay. They're correct, grammatically speaking, technically speaking, they're quite fine. They also believe most people have enough capabilities to raise the quality of their lives. Semicolon is used here. They just need a driving force, like motivation, to push them forward in order to use their creativity and knowledge to tackle problems and get satisfied and be satisfied with their achievements. Okay, can I have an example here? A little bit more development is needed. Here is the mysterious paragraph. Oh my God, what's it going to be? Is the writer going to take Camp A side, or is the writer going to choose Camp B? What's it gonna be? Drum roll, please. And in my opinion, changing and improving an unpleasant situation depends on a variety of factors. So it depends, obviously, including education, capabilities, and creativity of each person, as well as economic stability in the society. Oh my God, now it's very correct, but at the same time, it's a huge topic now. How can we handle it in 40 minutes under exam conditions at IELTS and just defend our opinion? It's going to be difficult. Let's see. I think people in developed countries who highly benefited from economic stability, I don't need the comma here. We're talking about specific type of people, and we talked about them, who they are. So it's just part of the sentence. I think people in developed countries who highly benefited from economic stability. Why benefited? They don't benefit from it anymore? Why is it past? Should be encouraged to boost the quality of their lives, while in developing countries where most people suffer from economic recession and lack of enough employment possibilities, it is best for them to maintain their jobs even they are unsatisfied with it. Now I understand. Okay, actually the writer managed to do this beautifully. I mean, the writer encapsulated all the elements here. Variety of, the variety of factors were education, capabilities, creativity, economic stability, and society were all under the category of developing nations and developed nations. That's quite smart and creative. I liked it. In the shortest amount of time and the shortest amount of paragraph space left, the writer was able to convince me that his or her opinion is somewhere in the middle, and it depends, and that and those elements fall under the category if you're in a developing country or in a developed one. And that's beautiful. The only thing I wanted to improve was this. Why is it past simple? It shouldn't be past simple. It should be present simple. All the other sentences, we see suffer. We don't say suffered. We say suffered. That's a fact. So it should be a fact. And it shouldn't be past simple. This gives me a different message. In conclusion, trying to change an unsatisfactory career and situation not only depends on the personality of an individual, okay, but also depends on other important factors in society, such as government and economic stability. I believe it is difficult to consider just one situation to this phenomenon all over the world. I like the wording here. And phenomenon, again, very good word, spelled correctly. 424 words. That's not very feasible at IELTS. It's very difficult to write 400 words for your task 2. Takes a lot of time. I'm not saying it's impossible. It is definitely possible, but it is difficult. And those who want to get a top score would do such things, like writing more, coming up with an opinion completely different from 2 camps, and writing these many words and coming up with vocabulary as varied as this one, this essay has to offer. So let's look at the band descriptors. Yes, the risk paid off. Task response, 8. Is it 9? No. You saw the elements missing. I needed a simple example here and there, but the writer was audacious enough to say, my opinion is different from the other 2 teams. I have something I want to share, and it's different, and it depends on these criteria, and I'm going to put all these criteria into a box and label them as developing nations and developed nations. People who live under this category will need to do this, and the people who live under the other category should do this. That was a brilliant paragraph. Really liked it. The organization was also logical. I still didn't get a sequential presentation like I'm going to talk about the first camp, the third, and the second camp, and the third paragraph. I'm going to present my own opinion. I didn't have that. That's why the coherence and cohesion stayed at 7. Referencing was fine. The connectors needed a small touch to be smooth. I saw a lot of as, remember that? That was a bit overused. Paragraphing was sufficient. Topic sentences were good. The only issue I have with paragraphing was, in some instances we only had major supporting sentences. We needed at least one minor supporting sentence, like an example, to form a complete shape of a perfect paragraph. Vocabulary, beautiful, varied, and correct in many instances, and the communication was fine. I just had one small issue with one grammar part. The past tense wasn't appropriate in the sentence. We needed if it's a fact, it's a fact. When we say people benefited from a specific thing, it means they do not benefit from it anymore. And that's not the message we want to hear. We want to say that they always, it's a fact, they benefit. If people who live in developed nations, they benefit from the economic stability. And that just affected my understanding for a small bit. But that doesn't affect the entire essay. It is still 7, bordering 7.5. On that note, on that cheerful note, I wish you a lovely day ahead, reminding you that your representatives, like this essay, must do their jobs well. Take care.